Okay, in this example we're going to be looking at expanding brackets that contain surds. To begin with, we've got 4 plus 3 root 6 multiplied by 5 root 6 minus 1. We expand double brackets in the way we typically would. We start with the first term and we multiply by both terms in the second bracket. So we've got 4 times 5 root 6. That would give us 20 root 6. And we have 4 times negative 1, which is negative 4. Then we do the second term in the first bracket, multiplied by both terms in the other bracket. We've got 3 root 6 times 5 root 6. 3 times 5 we can write as 15. Root 6 times root 6 is just 6, so we get 15 times 6. For the final term, we've got 3 root 6 times negative 1, which is negative 3 root 6. Next, we simplify. We've got 20 root 6 minus 3 root 6. That gives us 17 root 6. Then we have minus 4 plus 15 times 6. To get 15 times 6, 10 times 6 is 60, 5 times 6 is 30, so that's 90, minus 4 is 84. In part B, we have 3 minus 4 root 7 all squared. I'm going to use the shortcut to expand the square brackets. But just in case you're not familiar with that, I'll show you how it works at the bottom. So if I've got something like a plus b all squared, the long way of expanding this will be to think of it as two brackets that both contain the same thing. So a plus b multiplied by a plus b. And if I was to expand that out, I'd get a times a, which is a squared. I'd have a times b, but then I'd have another a times b from the other middle term. So I'd get two lots of a times b. And then the final term, b times b, is b squared. So whenever you expand a square bracket, you get the first term squared plus 2 times the product of the middle two terms plus the second term squared. Let's apply that to our bracket here. The first term squared is 3 squared, which is 9. Then we're going to have 2 times 3 times minus 4 root 7. As we're only multiplying by a single negative, the answer will be negative. So we're going to have 2 times 3 times 4 root 7. And then finally, we have minus 4 root 7 squared. The key thing to remember here is that this minus sign is part of the second term. So I'm squaring minus 4 root 7, not just 4 root 7. Whenever we're squaring a negative, we're multiplying a negative by a negative, so the answer is positive. 4 squared is 16. And root 7 squared is 7, so we get 16 times 7. Then we just need to simplify. To get 16 times 7, 10 times 7 is 70, 6 times 7 is 42, so that gives us 112, plus the extra 9 gives us 121. Then we have 2 times 3 times 4, which is 24, so we've got minus 24 root 7. Okay, here's a couple of similar problems for you to have a go at for yourself. Pause the video and then come back and check your solution against mine. Welcome back, here's my solution then. If you got the answer correct, move on to the next part of the lesson, otherwise I'll go through my solution now. In part A, we've got 8 plus root 2 multiplied by 3 root 2 plus 5. 8 times 3 root 2 gives us 24 root 2. And 8 times 5 gives us 40. Then we look at the second term. We need to do root 2 times 3 root 2. Since root 2 times root 2 is 2, we're then doing 2 times 3, which is 6. And for the final term, root 2 times 5, we can just write as 5 root 2. Simplifying, we've got 24 root 2 plus 5 root 2, which gives us 29 root 2. 40 plus 6 is 46. In part B, we've got 5 minus 2 root 3 all squared. Squaring the first term gives 25. Then we'll have 2 times 5 times negative 2 root 3. As we're timesing by a single negative, we're going to have a negative for the answer. And then we've got 2 times 5 times 2 root 3. Finally, we've got negative 2 root 3 squared. As we're squaring, it will be positive. 2 squared is 4. And root 3 squared is 3. Simplifying, we have 25 plus 12, which is 37. And we have minus 2 times 5 times 2, which is 20. And then root 3.